All right, so we're back in the saddle here again. You can see the properties there. You can see in the distance, it's probably hard to see on the camera, but the city of Thunder Bay, the southern part of the city of Thunder Bay, Mount McKay, which is the most prominent mountain in the city, very close to where I live in Thunder Bay. Again, you can see this is a very pretty area. The lakefront property here, all the way from Thunder Bay to the east to the Sibley Peninsula, is very, very sought after. Many of the homes and the properties things here go for quite a bit of money. And again, some of these are permanent residences and some of these are seasonal homes. I'm just trying to turn back and see if you can get a shot. You can kind of see it through the trees there. And we'll see if we can get a better shot again. So that feature over there is the Sleeping Giant. It's right at the very tip of the Sibley Peninsula, and it's a very, very dominant rock formation. You get a very beautiful view of it in the city of Thunder Bay, and we'll see that when we do our last video at the station in Port Arthur, now Thunder Bay. And so I'll throw up a link in the description. You can read a little bit more about the indigenous legends and stories surrounding the Sleeping Giant. Here maybe you can see it a little bit better here. I don't know, you're probably getting some glare from the sun, but here you can see the rock formation, so it does look like a giant is sleeping. Nana Bijou. All right, so we're coming up to a road crossing here. This, I believe, this is Clover. Let me check my GPS here. Yeah, this is Clover Beach Road. And so here you can see the old private crossing sign. So people use this at their own risk. And so here we're passing through a little cut. Again, very grown in. You can see all the organic material on top of the grade. Like you can't even see the ballast anymore. Kind of a little bit sort of wet, kind of swampy. Kind of interesting here, this orange pipe that you see here. There is a very important fiber optic cable that is buried alongside the grade, and that is the conduit that they use for the fiber optic cable. So here, the road's up there, but this is actually the start of, you can see the sign here, Ishkabibble Beach. Quite the interesting name, Ishkabibble. Again, just going down here, it's very hard to believe that, you know, especially in the latter years, that trains used to come down here. Here's a culvert marker. Just trying to see the mileage here. I see 141.86 on the original lines, so that would be 191.56 on the Kinghorn. All right, so basically you can see another shot here of very, very close residential properties, and you can hear some rushing water here. So we do have a creek. This one doesn't have a mileage marker, but it does have a concrete culvert. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop and drop down and have a look at this. All right, so we're down here below the level of the grade. Hopefully you can hear me over the sound of the rushing water. Again, we've had a very late spring, and the creeks and things are still full of water. And so basically here you can see the segmented concrete culvert. This side, it looks like it's in pretty rough shape. You can see the collar here, the flange bend is all kind of wrecked. And then exposing all the sort of the concrete and everything. It looks like it's probably about a 4-foot diameter culvert. You can see some of the work that they've done to try to reinforce the grade. You can see some of the rock here that they've put, and it looks like there's been some ties that have been kind of stacked up here. Let's see if I can get a little closer. You can see some of the ties that have stacked up here. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to jump over onto the south side of the grade and go take a look from there. Okay, so you can see the south side isn't in much better shape than the north side was. You can see there's quite a bit of erosion on the end of the culvert itself. Again, you can see that, maybe you can see it a little bit better here. All of those ties that have been stacked up here to kind of reinforce the grade here. You have some that are basically parallel to the grade, that almost like a wall, and then you can see there's ties that are kind of stacked up perpendicular to it as well. So kind of very interesting reinforcement that they've done here. All right, so we're going to jump back up on the grade and just continue working our way to the west. Okay, so we're going to hop back up on the bike as we listen to the rushing water here. We're going to work our way around this barrier. And so here, this is Ishkabibble Beach Road. And again, you can see the very, very close proximity of the structures to the railway grade. And so again, it must have been quite interesting when the trains would roll by. You can see there's a ship out in the harbor there. Another view of the sleeping giant. Again, views of here are just beautiful, and to have a day like this where there isn't a lot of wind is just fantastic. Maybe we get a good view of sleeping giant here. I don't know how the sun's playing havoc with the flare and the glare. Another creek here. Milepost marker is illegible, but that doesn't really impact us, and there's a reason for that. Migratory birds are coming back. You hear the goose honking along here. See some of the vestiges of the ice. You can see that ship a little bit better out in the harbor. And then here, the sleeping giant. And so here, there's yet another culvert, and I believe this one is 191.98. I think this one is, and so that tells us that the milepost 192 marker is supposed to be around here somewhere, but it's not. I was actually here in the late fall last year, so I think it's towards the end of November. I walked through here just to kind of do a little recce and sort of see what was going on, and I'll tell you why we know kind of that the marker was here. I'm going to show you something in a second here. No, I think that mileage was wrong. I think it's up here. Sorry. Sometimes it's hard to see the stuff on my GPS. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is 191.97. So we'll scoot around here. And the cobra chicken, as some people call the geese around here, because they're quite vicious, is making a little bit of noise. So here is where the milepost 192 marker is supposed to be. Now it's not here, but if you look over here, you'll notice on the tack to this side of this person's shed is you actually have something that says Kohut on it. And so basically what that is, that yellow sign, that triangular yellow sign, is a station ahead marker. So it basically says that the next station is coming up in a mile. So Kohut station was one of the later stations, the latter stations to be established on the line, and it's at milepost 193. And so basically we know that milepost 192 is here if the Kohut sign is here, because Kohut is coming up in a mile. All right, so what's interesting here is you can actually see what's happened is people have used this part here of Ishkabibble Road, and they use it and people will drive on top of this part of the grade to tie in with the other road that's over here to the south of the grade. Again, just beautiful views and nice to see the lakes very flat and calm. Some very, very beautiful homes here. And so here you can see it kind of scoots back down. And so let me pull up here for a second. That's Alder Road. So people use this little piece of grade here to hook in between the two pieces of road. Okay, so we're going to stop here for a second, and then we're going to get going, and we're just going to finish off the last little piece of today's hike. All right, so here we kind of get away from a lot of the properties here alongside the lake. And kind of get back more to the railway grade that I'm used to, kind of bumping along. The ballast here is not particularly thick. It's been sort of pounded pretty flat. There's lots of all-terrain vehicle traffic on this area here. You can see some of the gorgeous homes. There's some pretty, to use the colloquial term, there's some pretty big shacks here. Again, some of these properties along Lake Superior, because again of the view and where they're sort of located, are quite valuable. All right, so we're coming up to our destination. As I mentioned, today was a pretty short exploration. I'm just scanning the brush here to see if I missed anything. There's any signs or anything like that, any flanger signs or things like that that I may not have seen. A few little vestiges of snow. There's areas where there's still lots of snow. At my house, which is in the southern end of the city, which is in a bit of a snow belt, I probably have about a foot of snow in my yard still. All right, so we're going to hold up here. You can see the road just ahead of us, and again that road crossing is North Star Road, and so again, it's one of the access roads that come down here in the municipality of Shuniah. So basically, this is the end of today's hike. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Kind of a short one, a few little things to see. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to be back tomorrow, and we're going to be doing the next section. So on the west side of North Star Road, working our way westwardly towards Thunder Bay. So stay tuned for that episode.